going up because your body's converting glucose to triglycerides. Triglycerides are going up, okay? The liver starts to create inflammatory chemicals. So now you have inflammatory chemicals being released. They're going throughout your body. If you had arthritis, it's getting worse. If you didn't, you could get it. Your body aches and pains start to come in, all right? But the liver is starting to create those inflammatory chemicals. And then it also creates fat. So if you're having the people who are experiencing belly fat, that's your liver. Your liver is speaking to you. What's happening here is fat begins to form inside the liver. Thank you, Robin. Inside the liver. The liver, the cells get converted into fat cells. There's so much fat inside that eventually the fat starts getting pushed out of the liver. Now the liver is creating fat outside the liver. It's called visceral fat. It surrounds your midsection, your organs in the midsection. It even surrounds your heart. It is dangerous. All right, this is the bad fat that your doctor warns you about. You got to get rid of it. It is a very dangerous kind of fat because it's surrounding your organs, okay? And then fatty liver disease eventually comes in as well. That's the end stage of all of that, okay? So that's that last one. That's how that all develops. Okay, so let's talk about thyroid. The thyroid, hypothyroidism, usually because of testosterone dominance. Men often will experience low testosterone from insulin resistance. Erectile dysfunction becomes common. Females will experience high testosterone, again, because androgens are not being converted into estrogen anymore. So females start to get high testosterone, facial hair, adult acne, things like that. But the testosterone can often amplify hypothyroidism. Insulin resistance can amplify hypothyroidism, and it can create it. Hashimoto's can also be irritated by this. The thyroid is quite complicated. There's multiple feedback loops between blood sugar in the thyroid and insulin in the thyroid, but also testosterone in the thyroid. So I don't go into it too much. It's just very complicated, but they are connected. If you start to get rid of insulin resistance and you have hypothyroidism, you're going to see that improve. A lot of people I work with can get rid of hypothyroidism by fixing insulin resistance. Okay, let's go into some solutions, guys. So now you know what's happening in your body. Okay, you know what's happening in your body. So when I go through the solutions, now you can kind of understand what you need to do. And I'm going to use terminology, and it's going to connect back to what I was talking about in certain cases. Okay, so there's 3 solutions. I'm going to go through all of them. A lot of people asking me if specific medications are a good thing. No medications are good. They all have side effects. They're all Band-Aid solutions. These are actual solutions that do not require meds. Stay on your meds. But as your insulin resistance reverses, as your diabetes reverses, skin tags go away, energy gets better, all these things get better, work with your doctor to come off medication, right? As your numbers improve, work together with your doctor. Okay, so let's go into solutions. The very first solution, actually, who here is confused if they have insulin resistance? I went through the signs and symptoms earlier in the live, but if you missed it and you're not quite sure if you have it, just let me know. I don't want to confuse you before going into solutions. If anyone's confused, say I'm confused, go over the signs, symptoms. Yeah, there's a handful. I'll go real quick. Missed it? Okay. Real quickly, I'll go through them. If you guys don't know if you are insulin resistant, okay? If you have 3 or more of these, you have to think about insulin resistance. If you have 2, it's relevant for you. You probably should think about it, but you're not at the 3 level yet. Okay, so ready? If you have, and think long-term, all right? If you have skin tags, I unconfused you, fantastic. If you have skin tags, if you have adult acne, if you have skin darkening or pigmentation. So a skin darkening around the back of the neck is very common. If you haven't checked, go check. The underarms, the groin, the elbow, skin darkening is very relevant. All right. If you do have the skin darkening, then you are closer to the pre-diabetic level. So you've actually been resistant for a longer period of time. You're closer to pre-diabetes if you have the skin darkening, or maybe you already are diabetic. So skin tags, adult acne, skin darkening, dark circles under the eyes, hair loss, hormonal problems. A lot of people are on hormone therapy because insulin throws out all the other hormones. When it can be exaggerated like that, it can make a big difference on the rest of your hormones. And people go on hormone therapy, but they aren't fixing insulin resistance. If you're tired all the time, if you're waking up, and even if you slept 8 hours, you're tired, you always need coffee, you're crashing a lot, you have difficult time maintaining motivation. All right. If you're hungry a lot, you wake up in the day and all throughout the day, you seem to need to snack on something. You need to put something in your body every couple hours. You always tend to need something. Or maybe you had a big meal, and even though you had a really big meal, you're hungry again quickly afterwards. All right. Now, the reason for that is because your cells are blocked, right? Like I mentioned, your cells aren't absorbing nutrients properly. You're eating, your cells aren't absorbing it. Cells are hungry, and therefore your system keeps sending you the signals for hunger. All right. Headaches and migraines, if you have the symptoms in your brain, what it's going to feel like is brain fog, fuzziness, headaches and migraines, lack of difficulty concentrating, lack of focus, because the brain cells, like I mentioned, are affected. Alzheimer's disease is long-term. So first, if brain cells get affected, you might not have any symptoms, but if you do, that's what it feels like. And then Alzheimer's is long-term. So brain cells, Jessica, help me out. I think I'm forgetting some. Hungry all the time, tired, so frequent hunger cravings, weight gain. If you're finding it easy to gain weight and difficult to lose weight, or one of the two, right? If you got stuck in a plateau, you can't lose weight any further. Or you're finding it very easy to gain weight, didn't change much, didn't change your routine, but your weight's going up, belly fat. There's more and I'm forgetting them. But those are some of the symptoms you can get. All right, neuropathy, tingling in the hands and feet, edema, so swelling in the hands and feet, blurry vision, and then the big chronic illnesses. The symptoms will escalate to cholesterol, blood pressure, Alzheimer's, dementia, heart disease, heart attack, stroke, pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, PCOS, ED. There's so much, sarcopenia, so many different things, okay? So those, if you have 2 or more of those, or 3 or more of those, is very relevant for you, okay? So now let's go into the solutions. Hopefully that clarified the confusion, but, and yeah, so that's a really good point. That's 80% of the population. Actually, 93% of people are metabolically unhealthy today. That's how prevalent this issue is. 93% are metabolically unhealthy. 50% already have insulin resistance. Half the population already has insulin resistance. That's why we have to educate on this. All right. So let's move forward with solutions. Now, the first thing we need to think about, there's the 2 causes of insulin resistance that we talked about previously, right? So we have to think about the frequency of food. If you missed these guys, come back to my next slide. If you missed me talking about what happens here, I won't repeat all of this. But we have to address the frequency of food coming into the body. The reason is because right now your insulin is sky high. It's up here. We have to bring this back down. But if you're eating every couple hours, if you're snacking all the time, then you're never going to give your insulin a chance to come down. You have to give your body a chance for your glucose to just settle and be normal and stay low long enough for your insulin to begin to come back down. This takes time, all right? One good way to do that is with intermittent fasting. If you don't like intermittent fasting, don't worry, there's 2 more solutions, all right? But intermittent fasting gives your body a chance for your glucose, your blood sugar to stay normal, and for your insulin to start to come back down slowly. And you don't have to do anything crazy. Nothing, you don't have to do a 5-day fast, no 3-day fast, just sustainable everyday fasting. 16/8 is sufficient. Shantae, thank you so much. So fasting for 16 hours a day is sufficient, and then eating for 8 hours. So eat all your food within 8 hours. Now, a lot of people will say that they have done this, and they'll say, Dana, I've been fasting for years and I'm still diabetic. I've been fasting for years and I still have PCOS. I still have blood pressure problems. It does not work for everybody. All right. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts, guys. It doesn't appreciate for anybody. And yes, skin tags do disappear. Yes. Usually around, if you get rid of insulin resistance, usually about 2 months later, those will be gone. Now fasting works for a lot of people, but if it didn't work for you, don't worry. There's other solutions, because I know it doesn't work for everybody. Okay. But do 16/8. A really common schedule, just really briefly for you guys, is wake up in the morning, skip breakfast. Wake up, skip breakfast, and then break your fast at noon, have lunch, and then eat for 8 hours. All your food within 8 hours. At 8 p.m. at night, you're done. You stop eating at 8 p.m. at night and you go about your night. Go to bed, sleep, wake up, skip breakfast. Okay? So all you're going to do is skip 1 meal. All right? Dark circles go away. Any symptoms of insulin resistance will fade away. Yes. You can have black coffee. Thanks, Jess. You can have black coffee. You can have black tea. And you can have water. But don't dabble too much in other stuff, because you don't want to risk your fast. Just give your system time to be by itself. Don't put things in your system. Give your blood sugar a chance to not be interrupted and stay low. It will help your insulin slowly to start to come down, okay? It can take a long time for that to start to happen, right? But there's things you can do to expedite it. Now, if you are someone, though, who does fasting and you're having the symptoms, you have fatigue, you have nausea, you have shakiness, really difficult time fasting. I understand that happens a lot. there's other solutions for you guys. Lemon water is okay. Just be careful. Again, don't put too much stuff in your water, guys. Just be careful because you don't want to end up accidentally creating an insulin response and breaking your fast. It's not fun to find out 6 months into fasting and not seeing any results to find out you were breaking your fast the whole time. It's not worth it. Okay. All right. It does apply to diabetics. I actually work with thousands of diabetics, thousands of diabetics. All right. Okay. So let's go into solution number 2. Someone asked me about Metamucil. They said, how about Metamucil?